All right, and we're back in the newsroom, and for some reason my
Back
camera's
again.
back
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 again.
again. Yeah.
So
So,
many toys. I mean, I don't know. Like Eric, like we might have to do our own special video on how to financially cope
we
with the raw dog amount
yes.
of plastic TMNT business that has been revealed just now. You see the reveals now,
Oh yeah,
but like, how do we not get divorced?
yeah.
Like, these
How
are
do we not?
questions,
Yeah,
and they need to be figured out because pre-orders they sneak up on you.
they do. They absolutely
And
do.
I feel like we might need to do a support video. All is all I'm saying because after last week's Toy Fair deluge,
That's the word I was going to go
we
with.
got
Yes,
more coming at you. You know what I'm saying?
more,
Like,
more, more stuff. Just all the stuff. So
no, it's bad.
it's real bad. But in the best way. So yeah,
That's the
Ryan.
other. Yeah, no, that's true. It's like it's real bad, but
But in the best
I
way.
mean, it is a great time to be a collector because I mean,
Absolutely.
if we're picking and choosing, you've got a veritable horn of plenty. You know what I'm saying?
There
Like,
you
going
go.
on with
Thank
these
you.
figures.
Use it.
You know what I'm saying? So
A
that should be our
cornucopia.
code word when one of us has to like go off the podcast.
Oh, that should. We've been thinking about that.
Horn of plenty. Like they fall off. Like
Right.
how much sense would that not make?
Or like
Anyway,
or like if like one of your kids runs by and their hand is cut off and it's bleeding and you just have to yell cornucopia. Like you have to get
cornucopia, cornucopia.
oh lordy day. Well again,
That'd be pretty hot.
well speaking of things that are going to be
back
bleeding.
to it.
Our wallets are
get
going to be
it.
bleeding because of this news. This news. Now,
Let's do it.
you had mentioned that we talked about last time about some things that have. Well, I got to find the right news thing. Let's see. You talked about some things that that we talked about last time. The last news we talked about with all the Toy Fair news with Neca and everything. And
Yeah.
at the end of that, the tail end of that, we ended up talking about Mikey as the mummy from the Universal Monsters. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Universal Monsters mashup. And we also talked about this news segment that came from Toy News Eye, where they had watched the Kevin, God, I ran through every Kevin in my list of Smith. I was like
That's an
Divine.
Eastman.
I was like, not that is Eastman.
That's
There
an
we go.
Eastman. Yep.
Got it. I had to get there alphabetically, but it was all crossed up. Yeah, Kevin Eastman did a video for NECA and Target's Holothon. And in the background, people suspected that there was a new Bebop and Rocksteady set that's out there. And we...
A whole bunch of action figure nerds sitting back going enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance. Like
Yes.
like looking at that
Oh, yeah.
super pixelated image.
Oh, yeah. And so, thankfully, some of y'all got to me on YouTube and left me comments on that video.
Yeah.
And somebody, and forgive me, I don't recall off the top of my brain, but you pointed out that box art is different, and we totally missed that. And you can totally see that it is different, and that's what I was like, oh snap! Then some more news came out, Ryan, and so let's take a look at some of the stuff that came out. So let me actually, here we go. Let's do this. Let's just plug everything in and we are good to go. So here we go. There you go. Confirmed. What is it? Are they going with Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady? Okay, yeah.
Mighty Rocksteady. Yes.
Yeah.
As
Now-
they appear in season 3 of the 87 animated series. So like
Yes.
we talked about last time, but like this is like one of the cooler episodes where effectively like, you know, it's one of those moments we love to analyze, psychoanalyze, where like Shredder and Krang are kind of like so sick of like people in Rocksteady like just like not performing. They're like basically like, oh, we're just gonna make robots like based off of you,
Yeah.
and they'll do the job right because they're not as dumb. And yeah, like it's really interesting. Because yeah, I guess because the original episode was Super Rocksteady and Mighty Bebop.
Yes, the title card.
So like they have
says
like
that, yeah.
switched it up. Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady, you got a little bit of like a rhythm thing with like Mighty Rocksteady. Like there's like that a little thing like that, and like
Oh, yeah.
Super Bebop, like those like things work a little, like the
They roll off the
syllables work a
tongue.
little better.
Yeah.
They do. But yeah, that's basically it. And once again, it just goes to show you kind of like the depths that we're plumbing here to like come up with like really cool figures. And I gotta say, just off first glance, I mean, they look cool.
They do. They look really neat, and I am really excited about them. Yeah, now the images that we're looking at, they came from, now I first saw this again on toynewseye.com, and upon further inspection, they got these images from Pre-Eternia, which is the it's a news or a toy Twitter, Instagram kind of stuff, post all kinds of cool stuff, so be sure to follow them. But this was posted, I believe, on their Twitter, and what they had done was they went to Target, and some Targets have, so we have 2 Targets near me, and one of them has the old style of red little scanner thing that just tells you yes or no if there's anything in the back. That's it, and it tells you the price. The one on the other side of town has the whole iPad essentially, and it gives you like everything about the whole details, thing. And you can even type in it. Like it gives you a keyboard that comes up, and you can type in stuff. Well, apparently they went and typed in the I think it's the DCPI number, which if you're looking for toys or anything at Target and you have a DCPI number or DPCI, I forget which one it is, but one of the two. You tell them that you're like, hey, excuse me, I have a DCPI number. Can you look up something for me? There's a glimmer of hope in their eyes because they know what you're talking about, and they could easily get to the bottom of this. I've used it on many occasions, and it does wonders. So, nevertheless, Pre-Eternia went to Target, typed in that number in the iPad thing, and these are the images that popped up. So they took pictures of it.
That's crazy.
And that's what this is. That's why they look a little grainy and a little weird. But
that's some real investigative journalism right there. I gotta say that's going deep.
Yeah, I love this. And so just based on these images, you can tell that they look dead ass like what they were on the cartoon. They come with
absolutely.
What I'm thinking is the Mesmerizer, which was is the MacGuffin the right word? No, is MacGuffin the right word for that? Whatever. The catalyst.
Like it was what transformed them into or what they use. Yeah,
it was the thing that they were the main weapon or device, the highly desired technological
that
showcase
they were
thing
after.
That they were after and using, and I think that's what that is. And then they've got some weapons, and they've got this weird. I don't remember if this is from the show or not because it's been ages, but a parking meter that is just you can't really see it. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. But yeah, it's pretty neat. And so yeah, it's there on the side of the corner. I can't really get in. But yeah, they come with that. And that's pretty cool. But the thing I'm like, I don't know, I just was not expecting these guys for some reason. I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about them. And then all of a sudden last week and then now this, and they look great. Now Playmates did a version of these as well, and they were metallic. They and I think they might have had some transparent parts, if not in their eyes or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But I remember us reviewing those back in the day, and we loved those figures and those designs, and these are really great too. So I'm really looking forward to this set, and I'm just so excited about it. So yeah. Now, speaking of that, Ryan, there's another company that makes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures in the roughly 1/12 scale of action figure, and that is Super 7. And Super 7 has a special licensing deal with TMNT, whereas NECA can do like pretty much any media version of the Turtles. Super 7 specifically, or at least up until this point, specifically we're doing remakes of the old Playmates toys and kind of like updating them a little bit, and that's been their kind of bread and butter, and like not their bread and butter because they started with He-Man doing that, and then they moved on to Turtles and some other stuff and have a whole plethora of properties that they're running now, and they make great figures. A lot of people love them. I haven't physically held one in my hand yet, but I do own a few, and they look great. Well, Ryan, they just dropped, this is hot off the presses. In fact, we had another news segment that we even canceled just so we could do this because this is nuts.
We kicked that news segment for this, so I'm excited to see what we're doing here.
So they released, I'm gonna see if I can get it all in there. They released their group shot of their next wave of figures, and Ryan, it's a doozy. So
wow,
yeah, we've got Warrior Metalhead Michaelangelo, we've got Punk Rocker Donatello, a Triceraton, Robot Bebop, I think Robotic Bebop, and then this character that they teased before they teased it before they fully released it, and a lot of people were saying, "Ooh, it's Sergeant Bananas," but then it came out that it was corrected to this character called Guerilla Gorilla, and that got your boy's interest peaked because I'm like, "What's this? I've never heard of this character." And so so that's where things get interesting. But we're gonna save that part for a little bit. We're gonna go through these, but we're gonna save the best for last, if you know what I'm saying. But don't worry, baby bird. We're gonna go through these. So so starting off with Warrior Metalhead Michaelangelo. This is a repaint of Metalhead, and we saw this in the Playmates line. They had him, and I remember we were thinking that this was a very weird thing when we reviewed the Playmates versions, because I think the Warrior line had like at least 2 or 3 other turtles in like a different like actual warrior outfit. I think they look like Vikings or something to that effect. And Michaelangelo,
it was more like an ancient, like kind of a barbarian kind of look to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then Michelangelo got the Metalhead treatment, which is like word up, but it's still out of nowhere. Very strange. And so now Super 7 is
in the box art or the box like text, like the flavor text, they were saying basically like, like he's just their like pet robot.
Yeah, it was super weird.
What? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and so
I look at Sharp.
This, I mean, and he looks dead ass just pretty much like the original toy did, which is really cool. And that Metalhead sculpt is fantastic. And they've got some glamour shots of some of these, and they just look great. And so I'm gonna be hard pressed to get to skip out on this. And he comes with heads, hands, all the stuff that Metalhead did, the backpack with the helicopter and all kinds of stuff. So they're starting off with that.
Sculpt looks like really good.
It does.
Sculpt looks hot fire.
Yeah, and the metallized paint looks fantastic. So this one. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention, he comes with multiple heads, and you can see in like one of his mouths is open, so he's kind of like a smiling face.
Oh,
and that's
like, hey.
Oh yeah, and that's terrifying because he's got robot teeth. I don't know why robots need teeth really, but he's got them.
I don't know either, but we're looking at it.
And so then so moving on to the next figure, we got Punk Rocker Don, and this figure looks so cool. Like everything inside of me that's telling me I'm only gonna buy the serious stuff. I'm not gonna get into all the ancillary things and whatnot. But when I see this, the colors pop, everything looks fantastic, and this. Oh man, it's gonna be really hard for me to pass on this figure.
I love that Punker Don has a keytar.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite part of that.
Of all things,
like new wave Punker Don. Like
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's like a hybrid of that. And I don't know. He's got his jacket, his mohawk, and it's very strange. It's kind of like. I don't know. I was thinking it was strange that his necklace, it has a turtle head, like one of their own molded faces on the chain of his necklace. And I was like, is that weird? Weird. But then I'm like, no, I don't know. I mean, like people have Jesus on their necklace.
Vanilla Ice would have done it. Vanilla Ice would have had a molded chain of his head. Like probably turned it the best angle for his hair profile, like the cover of that record.
Of course.
Like it would just be at the best angle, or it'd be like a multifaceted thing.
Right.
Where like as it spins, you're like, oh, it's every angle.
Right. You know exactly. I mean? Like, oh yeah. So.
I love the spikes.
The spikes,
on that
dude.
Alternate head.
Dude, look at that. Isn't that
Liberty
nuts?
Spikes are sick. Yeah.
Dude, he also comes with a tuning fork. Like what?
Gotta stay in tune.
Stay in tune. Comes with a vinyl record, a weird looking bow staff that I think is maybe a flute or something, because I don't know what that thing is up in the top of it, the metal part. So who knows? Then he comes with a mic stand too, which is nuts. Like that's one of those things that like you don't see in action figures too often, and when you do, it's kind of like, oh, that's neat. I can use that.
Super good.
And if you're unfamiliar, this is the toy that he's based off of. Which, goodness, that's an action figure right there. And
absolutely.
So that's wild. So now, moving on to a very chunky boy, we're going to move on to the Triceraton. And this thing looks nuts. Like, it just looks just like the toy. And it's got some big feet, Ryan. It's got some big feet. And
I mean, the standability on him, he ain't gonna fall over.
he's not gonna fall. No,
He's good.
you could probably like put him in a hole in your house if you need a load bearing thing. Like you just prop him up.
Oh man, is that an acrylic like blade on his hand?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's
yep,
really good.
Translucent plastic and everything. Yeah, he is awesome. Like so this shot right here, I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't think I liked the orange whatever lighting that was that's on his chest, on the right side of his chest.
Okay.
Because it kind of looked like he's wearing one of those the single strap leotard kind of things, like the
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't like that look.
Yep.
But then when you get to the actual image, you're like, oh, that's cool. That's just, and he's so chunky. Like something about a chunky action figure just gets me 6 to midnight, you know? So yeah, but
I love the rats on his belt.
Yes.
That is such a Zog thing.
Yes.
Like that is such kind of a reference to that. Like I'm all about that because okay, so like, you know, for people that don't know, like Zog was a Triceraton in the Mirage comics that was left over from when the Utroms and the Zog and the Turtles, they all got mixed up, all wild, and he wound up getting transported to Earth where he doesn't have like any of his breathing apparatus. Now here, this figure does have what looks like a rebreather for his mouth.
Yeah.
But your boy Zog didn't have any, and he survived by eating rats in the sewer. And the Turtles find him way later on when they come back to New York in Mirage, and he's been down there, like living out an existence, like with no hope of going home. And the rats he had hanging like from his belt and stuff, like that was like a huge thing. So I love that they included that here.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Such a cool nod to the original Mirage story.
Such a cool nod. I love it, and I love this figure as a toy. I really did, and this is neat. And this is again what he looked like as a Playmates action figure, and just still a chonky boy. And he's got the rats there too, which is really cool because I forgot about that.
Yeah, I do love it.
Yeah. So and he comes with some weapons and whatnot, and alternate hands, all that fun stuff. So there's the Triceraton. Now, moving on to something that I'm not sure how I feel about this, Ryan, and I hope that you can help me out with this. So we just talked previously about NECA's take on Bebop and Rocksteady as robots. Well, now here is Super 7's take on Bebop as a robot. And this is the glamour shot. At first, I'm not really sold on this angle. It looks fine. It looks like a perfectly fine action figure. That's cool.
They come in and do some business.
Actually, absolutely, TCB all day. And so I do like it, but it's not scratching the itch that I was hoping it would with this particular take on the homage to the figures of old. And because something about it just doesn't translate from this, because I remember us praising Robotic Bebop and Rocksteady, looking at them, and maybe it's the
the first brick on the road to salvation is vac metal.
That's true. That is true
in action figures. So I mean, like, there's that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally. And that does change a lot. That goes a long way. But because this figure looks so good, and so, but then. Again, same thing with Triceraton. Whenever I saw this shot of him, like more of a straight-on profile, like standard vanilla pose, I was the girthiness of him, like the width of him, kind of sold me a little bit more. I'll show. We'll show.
A wise man once said, "The girth brings you back."
Yep, totally. I totally did. Yep. So,
no, he looks great. His stature looks great.
I
love that, like, screw you, like, iron gauntlet he's got up there. That is like, get destroyed. And like, I'd have that on him all the time.
Yeah,
like, that looks amazing.
And I forgot that that actually is a homage to the toy. The toy came with one of those gauntlets, and I didn't remember that at all. It also comes with this like plasma shield, I think is what that is, and classic bunch of hands, a gun.
It looks like he has explosion effects for his shoulder cannons.
Yes, blaster effects,
pretty cool.
Which are clear, translucent plastic as well. And the one thing that I love is right below them, you can see that it's got an attachment for whenever his arm gets ripped off, like a battle damage arm.
Oh, the damage. Oh,
yeah, okay. And so that's always fun when they come with those accessories. And so that's Robotic Bebop. Which seeing him like this, I might get this one. I might have to because it's too cool. But then the big controversy, Ryan. We got this behemoth. Let's see. Let me get him full in frame. We got
really good right there.
Guerilla Gorilla. Now,
Guerilla Gorilla.
I had no idea that this was technically could be a separate character.
We wouldn't have. So
despite being the deep diving daddies of Turtle Soup.
Because we have not gotten to the TMNT Magazine, the Welch TMNT Magazine. This guy appears in issue 4 back in 1991.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the story, effectively, like the turtles go to South America to stop like this deforestation effort, very much like what you see in Adventures in the Era. Okay. And they wind up, they get captured and they're saved by this Guerilla Gorilla, which was just another character in the IP that was just kind of kicked out, who made his appearance here. Now, of course, Guerilla Gorilla never made an appearance in Adventures in North America, where we're used to seeing a lot of these characters come from or get fleshed out more.
Right.
And it basically, like, according to TMNT Entity, kind of what their angle on it is that Guerilla Gorilla is basically the same character as Sergeant Bananas. Kind of like Shu Chen, the warrior dragon from Adventures.
Right.
And Hothead are the same character, and Man Ray and Ray Fillet. One being, the 87 animated series version of the Archie comic character.
Right.
So we've weirdly, but I mean, they're probably correct in saying like Guerilla Gorilla. You know what I mean? Like if that's what he's based off of. I gotta say though, like that cover is crazy.
Cover, dude. That cover is nuts.
I had never seen the cover before. That is a lot. Like Guerilla Gorilla looks like a gorilla with man clothes on. Like in the comic, he's depicted like completely different. Then like in the action figure, and this is a modern figure,
right?
He looks like so good.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I could kind of leave, take or leave the good guy head.
Yeah, that
head where he's got the teeth out.
Yeah, dude,
is brutally cool.
Absolutely,
and I'm all about that. He has so many accessories too, like that really work with him.
Yes.
This is
nuts.
All I gotta say is this: those Joe Biden aviators, bro.
Yes.
Like your boy's coming in like hot. Like get in, loser.
Yes,
we're going
Jack.
to the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
Jack.
Come on, Jack. Get in the car, Jack. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm all about that, man.
Yes.
The dog tags, the grenades. I mean, his color.
Dude, look at his
color is great too. That brown.
And look at the fur. His fur is that looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm with it. I love like this sculpt where even in the comic appearance that we saw on screen, the cover. That's just literally a gorilla man. Like just a gorilla clothes on. I love how they kept his like simian leg profile in the figure.
Yeah,
like because in the comic he has the straight legs of like a Homo sapien. Like he just looks like a human. Right. I mean, you look at that. Like, his legs are more squat, but they just, the big feet kind of, but they look kind of human feet. It's very odd. You know what I'm saying? Like your boy, like, if your boy can find some shoes to wear, you probably should wear them because he's got a case of the ugly feet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
He's wearing flip flops around you. You know what I mean? Like, let's go ahead and keep those closed toed going. Just like public school. You know let's keep those shoes closed toed and above board.
Right. But then you got this guy.
But he's here. Once again, his legs are humans' legs.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the figure, I think that to me, what sells it is his it's his all the perspective, all the kind of the way that everything is dialed in as far as like the shapes that make up this figure. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like
absolutely.
All of his proportions and the way that they're laid out, like screams, like, oh no, that's Guerilla Gorilla. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
like and that head, the snarling head.
Yeah,
I don't know how you don't have the snarling head on all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna lose that. I would have lost that regular head somewhere. Like that would have fallen in between the cracks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like that snarling head would be on the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Of all of them, this is the guy. Oh, the banana bandolier.
The banana bandolier. That's another thing that got me.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Dude, the thing that sold me the most is the banana peeled Zuka. Like, that thing is, that's just amazing to me. That's just too much. So yeah, this is fantastic, and I am like, I've already pre-ordered this guy. Like, everything else I'm waiting on, but this I had to get him. And again, if you're not familiar with who Sergeant Bananas is, this is what Sergeant Bananas look like. He says he's appealing. Oh, it's so good. And I forget, he comes with the oh geez, we haven't reviewed him yet. I don't think we reviewed him.
No, but he's got to be coming up soon because we're almost done with Playmates. It is close.
Yeah.
So like, well, this Playmates 87. Like run. So he's got to be coming up. But yeah, so they keep the simian like legs there as well, which I appreciate.
Right.
But like, hey, it's been about 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Technology has come up. You know what I mean?
It has. And the other thing that stands to reason as to what these characters being the same is that, I don't know if it's showing up really well on the screen there, but like his or his name tag says, I think it says G Gorilla on it.
It does say G Gorilla.
Yeah. So there's that.
That's
so
pretty funny.
I am
they have a commonality.
They do, and I love that because I always thought that up until this point that they were just doing the toys. I didn't know that they could do anything else, and so now that they have that option, I'm really excited because there's no telling what they can come up with because there's a lot of differences in these turtle lines. And one last thing I want to show is like the height difference of.
So the height difference is in scale that makes Gorilla look even better.
Oh yeah.
Frankly.
He is massive, and so is Bebop.
Bebop and the Triceraton, the scaling is really nice.
Man, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be hard pressed to not get that Triceraton because of how chunky he is. But Super 7.
You know, he's got some hefty like weight to him when you handle it. That's
absolutely. And there's something about that just makes it just even sweeter. So yeah. Now, what do y'all think about this? Are you excited about these as we are? Like, did you know about Guerilla Gorilla? Yeah. Let us know. And if one of our cool uncles can hook us up with the magazines, the TMNT magazines,
right? The Welch TMNT magazine,
any of them, let us know because we would love to read them, especially if there's stuff like this in it, and especially if all the covers looked as cool as that. We definitely need to be covering that on the show. So please let us know. turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. And if you like these, let us know what you think about them in the comments or email us again, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for news, Ryan. So hopefully my wallet's going to have time to heal before we have another news segment. But yeah, I think that's going to do it.
I wouldn't count on it, but you know what I mean? One can hope.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, until more news comes out, else time.
Yeah. Peace.